Hello, team. Welcome to another weekly sales meeting. I'm very excited for today's weekly sales meeting. We've got a great lineup, a lot of great topics that are going to leave you with great takeaways. So Ravi, Patel will be joining us. Todd will be joining us. So we'll get to that shortly. I want to kick off and talk about the 1% down conventional program. Now, this is when it came out over a month ago. Everybody was excited about it. Everybody's putting it out there, talking about it on social media. It's generating a lot of interest. Then what happens? Over time, we stopped talking about it. And I can tell you, having gone to different markets over the last couple of weeks, the minute I talk to a real estate agent in a local market and I bring up the program, the same reaction I get is, I didn't even know you had that. And again, it's a conversation starter. And right now, at the tip of every real estate agent's tongue is affordability, is getting buyers off the sideline. So there's a couple things I want to make sure that we're all taking away as a takeaway, which is number one, what matters when affordability matters? Whatever's cheaper matters. So are we talking about the fact that we are generally a 0.5% lower in rate, 0.3% lower in rate than our retail competitors in our local market? Talking about that to the agents, talking about it on social media, making sure it's not something we put out there once a month. It's a consistent call to action. Every single time you're giving your elevator pitch to agents you already work with, reminding them so they're talking to their agents in their office about it. Because believe me, they're having these conversations. Another agent is complaining how a buyer doesn't want to buy because they can't afford it. Oh, you should talk to Ben Bell, this loan officer, that I work with. When he made the switch from retail to UMortgage, he was able to save our buyers a lot of money. The MI is the cheapest in the country. So, these are all affordability things. Cheapest MI, affordability, lowest interest rates, affordability, 1% down program. Again, not everybody qualifies for it. It's a conversation starter. But having the conversation right now and being the cheapest option when affordability is the primary pressure point is everything. So I watch everybody's social. As all of you know, I engage in your social. Like, we're not talking about enough. It's great to do the experience stuff. It's great to take the pictures from closing. It's great to do all those things. We can't stop doing those things, but we got to build in that consistent post once a day. We got to build in that consistent call to action every single day with our agents. Believe me, I'm talking about it. When I talk to people about, what's going on in the market, I'm talking about, it's a tough market, but we focus on affordability. We're making sure we're the cheapest in our market. So even if that just increases our buyers' buying power by a little bit, it gets them in the market for another home. We make sure we have the cheapest MI in the country. That's a fact. Cheapest MI in the country on conventional mortgages. That's going to win you deals. That's going to increase the buying power. So these are the things we got to talk about. We've got to be consistent. It's important that you understand. Same thing with what I do every single day when talking about, UMortgage's value proposition. I don't know what loan officer is going to look at our post when we're recruiting, but I want to make sure that I'm consistent in my messaging. So over time, they're going to hear it all. They're going to hear that we've got the best NPS score. They're going to hear that we have the lowest rates. They're going to hear that we have the best operations. They're going to hear we have the best technology because it's a consistent thing that I built into my communication. Same thing with all of you. So take that as a takeaway. That's a big one. Consistency is key. Doesn't matter if you don't post on social. It could just be part of your communication with your realtors. Just a reminder, in case you talk to any agents in your office, I know affordability matters. We're the cheapest in the market by far. Build a reputation around having the best price, the lowest MI, and the most affordability programs. And believe me, you're going to win in this market for sure. Next thing I want to talk about is a homeownership unlock. This is a presentation that I've been working on with Nicole Peranio for the last month. And the whole focus of this presentation is for us as loan originators to get in front of our buyers with a video meeting to go through what is the process. Now, we don't talk high level. Now, this is one of the things, like, we take it for granted. We've been doing mortgages forever, okay? CFPB came out with a study 2 years ago, said over 2/3 of home buyers felt less confident about the mortgage process, the home buying process, after they bought the house, okay? That's how little communication, poor expectations were set during the process. Now, I know everybody's like, no, I do it better. I get it, but understand this. When we're starting the process, to be able to have hey, send your borrower a message and say, hey, listen, I want to hop on a quick meeting or go-to meeting or Google Meets, whatever it is, and I just want to walk you through what you can expect. And this is a consumer first presentation. This isn't like we're talking to a real estate agent. This isn't like we're talking to another mortgage pro. It's really super high level and dumbed down in a way that is digestible. Consumer can understand what matters, understand how we look at credit, understand how we look at employment, all of the high level things. We don't get into the minutia. We keep it high level. But the key here is this, and this is the way I look at it, is attention creates opportunity, okay? When you have a buyer's attention, when somebody wants to buy a house and you sit there and say, hey, listen, great, we're gonna get you pre-approved. If, let's hop on a quick call, you and your spouse, we can hop on a call, you and your partner, we'll do a quick presentation. I just want to show you the process so you understand. Believe me when I tell you, they're going to want to do it. They want to buy a house. They want to understand the process. They want to know the nuance. They want to understand what steps they need to be ahead of. So you do this. You walk through the presentation with clear call to actions, tell them what not to do. Hey, make sure you don't move money around at bank accounts during this process. It's going to cause us to source things. Make sure you tell them, don't change jobs. And here's why. Like, it's a presentation that we've created. All the speaker notes, all the slide deck for everybody. It's all customizable to you. But what's going to happen at the end of this presentation is you're going to have a buyer that you've now taught the process to. You've educated them on the process. So their confidence is going to be very, very high. Their expectations are going to be very, very clear. But more than anything, you're signing a verbal agreement with them. You're getting their buy-in. You're telling them things not to do. They're going to ask questions about those things that you're mentioning, and you're creating a relationship that is non-transactional. Okay, now you're partners. Hey, listen, we're in this together. You're telling them throughout. We got your back. We're going to make sure we keep you ahead of things. We work with the home inspector. We work with the appraiser. We're going to make sure you're represented well and you get the best house with the best terms. Like, it's a partnership. And then the transaction is just a byproduct of this, okay? So this is, if you think about when you joined UMortgage, or if you think about like anytime you made a big commitment, okay? You went through a face-to-face interaction where you explained operations. Like, we got Ravi Patel coming on a little bit. You think he just joined UMortgage watching like a video or something? Like, no, we talked about operations. Hey, what's the process? How does this work? We got into the weeds. Like, this is a big, big commitment that you're making. We got to know those details. And I got to see the person that I'm making a commitment to work with. Once you do that, I'm telling you, the client is going to be loyal. You're going to be in a situation where they look at you as the person that has their back. And I can tell you this right now, real estate agents aren't doing that. So when they get to the real estate agent, or if they're already working with the real estate agent, they're going to say, man, loan officer's on point. They took the time. They diligently walked me through the process. I feel confident about my buying power. I feel confident about the process. So that's going to be coming out here over the next couple of weeks. We're going to have Nicole do a presentation of the presentation. So train the trainers and show you guys how to do it and how to incorporate it into your weekly meetings. Sounds small. I'm telling you, it's going to be a big, big deal for everybody. It's going to increase conversion like no other. Next thing, I want to talk about this level up sales coaching. So, we're going through the process over the next couple of weeks. We're coaching the coaches. We've partnered with Renee Rodriguez. We've partnered with Chris Vincent from Windsor Mortgage, both guys at 20 plus years each in coaching, sales development, sales leadership. So they're going to be working with our leaders or our sales coaches over the next couple of weeks and really getting them set up for success. So when we kick off the sales coaching program, everybody wins. But one theme I wanted to make sure I brought to life, and this is something that over the course of my career in the mortgage industry has always stuck with me, because a lot of organizations have a very opposite approach. So my focus has always been numbers first, story second. Okay, what does that mean? Okay, well, in a lot of sales organizations, it's like story first, numbers second. Story first is like, hey, how are your numbers this week? How many pre-approvals did you get out? How many appointments did you get in? Well, I had this, my son's got a baseball game. I got this going on. So you're getting the story on why the numbers aren't going to look good, right? Like that's what you see across most organizations. Okay, in our world, it's going to be numbers first, story second. And the importance of that mentality is understanding, like, hey, how were your numbers this week? Did you? Well, no, I don't want to hear it. What's the number? We'll talk about why later. And the reason why is you got to start with the outcomes. Like, hey, where are we at? We're not trying to achieve Anthony's goals. Like, Anthony doesn't set your goals. What are your goals? And then we're going to talk about the numbers weekly. Like, hey, if the numbers aren't matching up, we got to figure out why. I can't help you get to your goals if we're not staying aligned on what the numbers look like and what we're doing on a daily and weekly basis. So just understand, like, that's where we're going. Accountability is key. And some people reach out to me like, well, what does this mean? I got work-life balance. This isn't about hours worked. Work the same hours. We're going to be more effective. We're going to create a little bit of accountability. Believe me, every single LO in our company knows. They know a little bit of accountability is going to go a long way. It's not like somebody micromanaging. It's just a little bit of a nudge. Hey, did you get your thing done today? Hey, look at what I'm doing today. Hey, by the way, like, we're in this as a team. I got 5 other people in my coaching pod. Like, we're holding each other accountable. This isn't about higher level. It's about being a team and helping us all get better together as a team. So that's the focus. I'm excited to keep the momentum going, and we're going to have additional announcements here over the next couple of weeks. So stay tuned. I'm going to hand it off to Todd. I'll be back soon.
Hey, everybody. I want to talk to you today about UWM Live and just showing up at events. So last week was the annual UWM Live event in Pontiac, Michigan. And the reason why these events are important to show up at is it's all about getting better every day. We go to these events, we always have takeaways from them, which makes us better at what we do. And honestly, last week, I should say, his event at UWM Live had some really great takeaways. Number one thing that I came away with from that, which is kind of a no-brainer, but we need to repeat it. Whoever practices the most wins the most. And that goes in anything we do in life. And what that means is showing up at the daily sales huddles, participating in coaching, taking the time to read guidelines. These events are a great example of getting better every day and practicing, because you go to these things and you learn what other speakers have that works for them. And it may be a minute little detail, but that little detail is part of getting better every day. So again, practicing your craft. I can't say enough about that, because guess what? You practice, you get better. And that was takeaway number 2 I took from that was happy clients lead to more referrals, which lead to bigger pipelines and more closings. So the only way you have a happy client is by delivering state-of-the-art, first-class service. One of our core values here, experience is everything. It's all about the experience for the client. And it goes from the top down. Our loan officers are our clients. Our loan officers' clients are the realtors and the buyers. And we have to give that first-class service in order to get more referrals. So again, if you're practicing your craft, you're delivering better experiences for everybody involved, which in turn results in more referrals. So keep that in mind. Finally, one of the big takeaways that Matt Ishbia set up on stage was consistent execution. Anybody that's done business with UWM knows their product is very consistent in how they deliver. And that's what we're striving for here. And that's what we do here at UMortgage. If you're not consistent with your execution, you're going to have unhappy clients. You're going to have files that fall through the cracks. So again, consistent execution, doing the same thing over and over to get the best results goes into that practicing every day and goes into that happy customer. So let's get out there. Your call to action today is show up at events, show up at the daily sales huddles, show up for coaching calls, whatever it may be, show up and go out there and get better every day by practicing your craft, treating the clients with the best possible experience, and being consistent every time with the execution that you provide for that customer, for that realtor, for that loan. If you do that, the referrals will come in, and before you know it, you've doubled or tripled your production over the next year. So that's all I got today. Again, show up and practice your craft. I'll turn it over to the next speaker.
Hey, this is Ravi Patel with UMortgage out of the Cincinnati, Northern Kentucky market. Today, I want to talk about team building, delegation, and then just tracking your production to realize when it's ready to take the next level, right? When you're ready to take your business to the next level. The number one thing that I tell loan officers, especially when they start off, they're always like, well, Ravi, when did you know when was the right time to hire that next person, or when was the time to hire that first person? The first thing I always tell them is that you have to have that growth mindset. You have to have that mindset that you want to grow your business. You want to get to 5 units, to 10, to 15, to 20, and so on and so on. Once you have that mindset that you want to grow, then you have to map everything out, right? You have to map it out to where, hey, if I had got an extra few contracts this month, or if I had got an extra few leads this month, how would my week look? Did I have extra hour, 2 hours to allocate towards networking or meeting real estate agents? And if the answer is like, well, no, if I had got a couple of contracts, or if I had got more leads, I would have been stuck in front of a computer, or I would not have been able to have that lunch with that real estate agent that you've been wanting to have lunch with for a month or 2 months. Once you kind of figured that out and that's on the horizon, that's when you have to go ahead and say, hey, I'm going to pull the trigger and I'm going to hire that first person to help me on the front end with leads, tracking leads, making sure that you have a follow-up system to call the client, X amount of times so you can collect documents, provide the updates that you need to the agents, and things like that. Once you start tracking your leads and you start tracking your conversion rates, when it says, okay, well, I'm getting 50 leads a month, Out of that 50, 15 of them are getting under contract. Well, guess what? How can you get from 50 leads to 75 or 75 to 100? Once we get to that once you be able to track that, then you'll know when's that next step to hire that next person, right? Me personally, I started off with a part-time sales associate to help me with my contracts, to help me with upfront collecting documents, calling the clients, let them know that we got their application in. My next hire was somebody that was more like a production manager person, where they managed my production. They gave the updates to the agents during the process of when the client was under contract. At the same time, that production manager was really good at marketing. So I utilized their skills to go ahead and set up events, do thank you cards, drop off gifts, things like that for any type of events that we would have and whatnot. The goal is that you want to be able to hire people that are like-minded, because they're going to be an extension of you. But at the same time, you want to hire people that are going to be able to do the things well on things that you don't really want to do, right? And it's not that you can't do them. It's just that you need to figure out, where does your time, how efficient is your time, and how can you maximize your time throughout the day to be in your business and work on your business, right? So that's my advice to loan officers, that once you start feeling a little pain of saying, hey, if I had a few extra deals, or if I had a few extra contracts, maybe I would have not been able to do this, this, and this, or I've not been able to provide that level of service to my clients and my agents. Well, that's probably when you're ready to go ahead and pull that trigger to go and hire somebody to help you out at that point. Always look at, local schools, colleges, to look for interns that can help you out. You don't really need to hire full-time people for some of these things, but it's always a good way to kind of, make sure that you're building out a team and grow with the people that you want to grow with, because not everyone's going to be a great fit, even though you hire them. So, the one thing that I've learned is, hire slow, fire fast, basically. So take your time, make sure that you get the first couple pieces that are key pieces, and that should be a good way to grow your business. So, get on the sales huddle, learn from other UMortgage loan officers, such as myself and everyone else in this company, and look forward to learning and getting better every day.
Hey guys, thanks for having me on again. I hope you're all having a great week. Last week, I attended the VA Loan Guarantee Summit with other loan officers, appraisers, and some realtors. The VA shared updates to their programs. I'm super excited for their modernization to be implemented so that we have better data and can improve our service to veterans and current service members. We had several Q&A sessions, which were helpful because we were able to get clarification on certain issues. The biggest takeaway is that the VA truly is focused on understanding what veterans are going through when getting a VA loan, and they want us to look at the whole picture of the veteran when approving them. Also, appraisers tend to overdo minimum property requirements. James Heaslett, the chief appraiser for the VA, was adamant in emphasizing the minimum in minimum property requirements. The VA wants to make the loan process as smooth as possible and not annoy the veteran. Lenders can and should self-certify as much as possible. So pretty much everything can be self-certified except lead paint issues. For more highlights from the VA Summit, I recommend that you watch the sales huddle that Ariel Best and I recorded last Monday. I was asked, how are UMortgage loan officers showing up and getting out there to learn and help educate the community of VA buyers? There were 5 of us at the loan conference, at the VA Loan Guarantee Conference. Brandon Woolley, Mike Alberico, Ashley Mulcahy, Ariel Best, and I attended the VA Loan Guarantee Conference this year to improve our knowledge of the VA loan program, ask specific questions, and learn what is on the horizon for VA loans. This is the first time since 2019 that this event was held, so I thought it was really helpful to go. I've been looking forward to it for a few years, and not only did I learn more about the VA loan, but I was able to get to know loan officers across the country better. It was nice to meet people that I see online all the time in person. Another way to show up and get out there is to educate the community in holding classes for realtors, using the presentation serving those who served, or adapting it to veterans for homebuyer classes. It's a presentation about VA loans put together primarily by Ariel Best and Jimmy Hobson and our marketing team, and then I did a little tinkering on it. There's a recorded video by Jimmy Hobson who's doing the class that gives you an idea of how to run it. I'm always happy to help if you want updated stats or have questions about any of the slides. Vetted VA and Veteran Mortgage Advisor are also 2 groups that educate loan officers and real estate agents about the VA loan program. Definitely, I would say read the handbook, read the 26-7, ask questions. UMortgage has a VA expansion group with over 50 experienced loan officers who are happy to answer your questions and help you serve your VA loan clients well. I encourage you to get on the sales huddles and learn from other UMortgage loan originators. These are gold. Show up and commit to learning and getting better every day. I hope you have a fantastic week.
Hi there, UMortgage. I'm Taylor Ingenbrandt, one of the graphic designers in the marketing team here in Philly. I'm thrilled to be on today's weekly sales meeting to discuss our famous marketing trainings. Every Wednesday at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, our team has the pleasure of hosting a training relating to a specific marketing theme we feel will help scale your business and ultimately make your marketing materials top-notch. Each week, our team rotates our trainings to reflect different marketing topics. Each topic is then hosted by that subject matter expert found on the marketing team. Curious about what each topic is? Here they are. First, we have video creating. Second, we have social media and our monthly marketing calendar. Third, we have our events and emails. And finally, navigating the My UMortgage marketing site and Canva. To see which training is available this week and or is upcoming in the future, please head over to the marketing community page in Workplace under Events. Each training is both held on Microsoft Teams and also streamed in the marketing community group for you to view. We highly encourage you to not only attend our marketing trainings, but come prepared with any questions our team can help assist with. We love the opportunity to spend more time with you and hope you find our trainings both beneficial and fun to attend. I promise, if you're looking to level up your marketing skills, become a Canva guru, and or a video extraordinaire, you won't want to miss our marketing trainings. I look forward to seeing you in the future and want to thank you for your time today on the weekly sales meeting. Bye!
Thank you, Taylor. And just follow up on that for everybody. Our marketing team is truly the best in the business. And one of the reasons why they're the best in the business, and it's really, really important everybody understands this, is they get incremental feedback like on a ridiculous level and at high velocity. And they take the feedback in the way that feedback is meant, which is to get better. They learn from it. They learn the approach. They translate it into their work. They make the updates, but it's not just about the transactional updates, it's about the approach in the future. And they get it 24/7. A lot of people can't handle that feedback. I've seen people, you give them a little bit of feedback, they completely fall flat on their face. They fall apart. They can't handle it. They can't take a little bit of criticism. They can't take a little bit of a, critique or an adjustment. They're not open-minded to it. That team is not only open-minded to it, they thrive off it. And that's why the velocity of growth and improvement has been so unbelievable to watch. So marketing team, you're doing an amazing job. Keep getting better every day, and we appreciate you. I want to talk about, we got 2 events coming up here. So I'm going to wrap up here after this. So first, Logan Mandashami from Housing Wire, leading housing analyst, and I are going to be doing a virtual event on May 23rd at 3 p.m. Eastern time. Now, here's the deal. When we talk to real estate agents, when we talk to loan officers, we're talking a lot about, mortgage data. We're talking about what's going on with rates. We're talking about inflation. We're talking about these high level factors. When Logan brings the data down to from a presentation perspective, he's bringing it down to the consumer level. He's translating it so your day-to-day consumer can understand it. And that's the reason why we're partnering with him on this virtual event. This is an event that every single one of our agents, every single, to be honest with you, people in our communities that are on the fence about buying, it's going to really inform them on their buying decision. A lot of people are wavering. They think like the housing market's struggling. It's like, we all know the truth. Every single house that goes on the market's getting 10, 15, 20 bids. Like there is not an issue here of demand. There's an issue here of capacity. There's an issue here of the fact that there's not enough houses to buy. So home prices are going to keep going up. There's no relief in sight. So now's the time to buy. Now is always going to be the time to buy in the foreseeable future. So Logan and I are going to do this presentation, high value, no solicitation. I'm not talking about UMortgage. It's all about focusing on the housing market, focusing on the data that matters, and educating the audience with real valuable takeaways. So, we should be sharing this with our networks, inviting everybody that we can. It's a value add to our partners, to our agents, to our community. So make sure you sign up for that. Next one, we're going to be doing an in-person event here in Palm Beach, Florida on May 25th. Elevate to Dominate. It's going to be an in-person event. This is for real estate agents. It's for loan officers. So we'll be inviting anybody, obviously all of our team members on the market. If anybody wants to come down, please feel free to join us. But this is going to be a couple hours where, Barry Habib's joining us. Everybody knows Barry. Barry's one of the best in the business. And we're going to be talking about dominating in this market. And, one of the things I tell people about Barry is a guy that dominates. We know what he does from a data and insights perspective, but that's not the thing that I'm most impressed with Barry about. I'm impressed. This guy's got unbelievable work ethic. If I text him at 4:00 in the morning, he's texting me back. Like, he's so in it to win it. You have no idea. And he's been doing it for decades. So we're going to talk about winning. We're going to be talking about sales strategy. We're going to talk about the approach we're taking to our markets. I talked to a retail LO that I have a lot of respect for, that I messaged this morning. And, he sent me a message back, like, just trying to survive this market. I said, no. That's not the mindset. If you're in survival mode, you've already given up. You can't be in survival mode, okay? We're in dominate mode. We're in market share take mode. So Elevate to Dominate, May 25th, 3 p.m. Eastern at the Colony in Palm Beach. Anybody that wants to join, please share with your networks. We're looking for a great event. We're going to focus on the mindset and the approach to dominate the second half of 2023. Last thing here I want to talk about. Yesterday, I was in Raleigh for the Elevate to Dominate event that Mike Alberico and Mike Wolf hosted. It was a great event. They did an amazing job. Amanda Alberico coordinating everything, really spectacular job. And, one of the interesting things is, like, as the event's going on, it's just, part of my nature of my habits, like, person gets off stage, hey, listen, this is what you could have done better. This is what I would do in the future. And Amanda Alberico at the end of the night said, hey, Anthony, what do you think we could get better? I want the honest feedback. And we talked about it. And the thing about getting better is you can only get better if you're executing, okay? There's nothing to get better from if you don't execute. If you got it all up here and you're just going through the motions, there's nothing to get better from. There's no baseline, okay? But when you execute on an event, when you execute on a presentation, when you do the things that it takes to win, there's opportunities for improvement. You can optimize. If I behaved the way I behaved a year ago, I wouldn't have gotten better. It's an every single day mindset. And when you surround yourself, like we have, with 300, 400, 500 people that have that mindset, your velocity of growth and improvement is exponential. And the rest of the industry is stagnant. They're working in silos. They're not getting better. They're focused on survival. We're focused on getting better. We're focused on dominating. So that's the approach. That's the mindset. So just understand, we're not going to survive 2023. We're going to dominate 2023. Everybody else is in survival mode. We're in domination mode. Have a great rest of the day and talk to you guys soon.